Hello fellow scientists, welcome to our study which we are going to focus on derivative of inverse hyperbolic function. Welcome and let us learn together through step-by-step method which is easy to understand. Thanks.
Hello my dear scientists, welcome to our study today, whereby we are in number 2 of our work, and we want to show that derivative of y is equal to square root of x squared minus 1, given that the inverse of hyperbolic of x is equal to y. So we want to show that the derivative of inverse hyperbolic of x is given by 1 over square root of x squared minus 1. So to do that, what we are going to do, we shall let y to be equal to hyperbolic inverse of cos x. We multiply this equation both sides by cos, hyperbolic of cos, to get hyperbolic of cos y. The other side will be left with x. Then we differentiate here this one implicitly. When we differentiate, we are going to be left with the hyperbolic of sin y dy dx over 1. Then we divide this equation both sides by hyperbolic of sin y to get this result here. From there now, we are going to consider this identity. From there now, we shall consider this identity, which tells us that hyperbolic of sin squared, hyperbolic of sin squared y is equal to hyperbolic of cos squared y minus 1. Now, we can take the square root here. When we take the square root of hyperbolic of sin squared y, we are going to be left with sin y. Hyperbolic of sin y, which is equal to square root of hyperbolic of cos squared y minus 1. But we know that hyperbolic of cos y is x, so we substitute here with x. So hyperbolic of sin y is equal to x squared minus 1. So we substitute where you have hyperbolic of sin y, we substitute it with the square root of x squared minus 1 here. So we come here 1 over 1 divided by hyperbolic of sin y, we substitute it with square root of x squared minus 1. Hence, then derivative of hyperbolic of cos x with respect to x is given by 1 divided by x squared minus 1. So for my previous teaching on the derivative of hyperbolic function, you can follow the link below to keep on studying. So before we wind up, a bit of recap. So to get the derivative of inverse function, this one, to get the derivative of inverse of this hyperbolic of cos inverse of cos x, all what you need to do is to let y to be equal to inverse of cos x, to be equal to inverse of cos x, hyperbolic of inverse of cos x. Then you multiply both sides by hyperbolic of cos to get cos y. This one will reduce to 1. Then you differentiate this equation implicitly to be left to get hyperbolic of sin y dy dx over 1. Then you divide both sides of this with hyperbolic of sin y to be left with dy dx. Then from there now you make use of this identity which says hyperbolic of sin squared y is equal to hyperbolic of cos squared y minus 1. Then you take square root, and you are going to get hyperbolic of sin y is equal to square root of hyperbolic of cos squared y minus 1. Then you use this fact that hyperbolic of cos y is equal to x. You substitute it here with x, because now hyperbolic of cos y is squared, you square x. Then you come to the formula here and you substitute the value of hyperbolic of sin y, which is square root of x squared minus 1, substituted here. So hence, the derivative of inverse hyperbolic of cos x with respect to dx is given by 1 divided by square root of x squared minus 1. Thanks so much for watching. You can keep on learning as we continue learning the derivative of inverse hyperbolic function, which are very important when it comes to the study of mathematics for scientists and for other people who are interested in learning mathematics even for the sake of learning. Thanks so much, guys.
So much for watching this study. Kindly like, subscribe so that you won't miss any single video which I upload now and then. Also, you can make a comment there. You can suggest any area of study which you would want me to address, and I will be more than willing to tackle it on your behalf. Thanks so much for your support, guys.